It's interesting we're talking about music, because segueing into the film and your past, and I first captured your name on Black Metal, which was your short film, and it was interesting to me because I grew up in a time when everything was blamed on music. I mean, it was either Ozzy Osbourne's fault that your kid out chasing animals, or it's Judas Priest's fault, or Black Sabbath, or and everybody's spinning records backwards and all of that. So I really loved what you did, just kind of capturing that dynamic of on-screen persona against what somebody does on stage as a career.
Yeah.
So talking a little bit about that, going into this full-length feature, music isn't the catalyst, but it's a great background that we hear. Do you like that style of music? Is that what you gravitate to?
I do. Yeah. I mean, I like kind of all music, minus maybe like modern country. But yeah, I do. I've grown up with music. My husband is a music fanatic, and I would say in the last 5 or 6 years been getting into metal more so, and I do kind of going back to the on stage versus off stage. I'm fascinated by that whole metal fear-based kind of imagery versus like the reality off stage of like, they have kids and they take out the garbage and they go to work and have a day job. So I love that aspect of the reality. And yeah, in making the short for Black Metal, I did tons of research and like watched the whole Judas Priest case online, and like the PMRC with Dee Snider and like all of this blame towards music. But yeah, just sort of that public blame and what it looks like when it comes home personally. But yeah, for Hellion, the backdrop being heavy metal and these kids who are just like hellraisers.
And it's like you said, just watching that and then seeing these two films, but what really caught my eye too, with not just the music aspect, was even the short and this film, they're both gritty. They're like, and so to see and I hate saying it like this because I come across
a girl?
as a sexy, a girl who's willing to get in the muck and the mire and the grit of life and anger and angst and frustration. Is it an out for you to do that, or is that where you're comfortable to do?
I'm definitely comfortable. I don't gravitate towards romantic comedies or anything like that. And I think also it's a fun challenge to get into sort of that more masculine landscape. And like one of my kid actors in the film always kind of refers to me as a 12-year-old in a however old body I am, which is true. I love Lord of the Flies is one of my favorite books of all time, and I love good kids doing bad things and trying to figure out why they're doing bad things. And I love poor choices. I'm a huge fan of poor choices because that's what makes life interesting.
Now, were you that kid?
I was far from that kid. Oh my gosh. I was like the quietest girl in the back of the class who never raised her hand, who did everything right. So maybe this is what I really wanted to do when I was a kid, and I'm living vicariously through my hell-raising boys.
Maybe, or you're trying to figure out what made those other people want to do that when you didn't really have the desire to.
No, it's true. No, I love those worlds. I think I'm just fascinated by them.
Mm-hmm. Well, you did a great job in this one of capturing the emotion of this father who's just trying to keep it all together, and raising two boys. I've got a 2-year-old that I can't even keep up with, so I can imagine if he gets to the point where it's like 13 and 10 and trying to just keep people wrangled in, and especially what he was going through after losing his wife, and then just the emotional baggage. So I think you captured that so wonderfully, but at the same time, you gave it this feel of, you wanted to pull for these people, you wanted to see them succeed, but there was a tension the whole time of what decisions are they going to make. And talk a little bit about working Aaron Paul through that, because we know he can be an intense guy.
Yeah.
Did you guys work well together in that dynamic?
Oh God, he was a dream to work with. I mean, because it was relatively the first time I'd worked with bigger actors, and so there's always that fear. But he had such trust in me as a director, and he was willing to go any direction that I was taking him. And it was too. I'll say too that it's all in so much of it was in the script. Like, I spent so much time on that script and those characters that all of these little tiny details were on the page. And so working with him, it was just, the first day we got on set, we were shooting in the house that we shot the movie in, and it was him and the boy Josh Wiggins, and it was just little tiny things. I'd be like, well, let's try this, or let's take it this direction, and he was just willing to go anywhere, and that meant the world to me, that he had such trust in me as a director.
Right.
But yeah, he was easy to work with.
Yeah, and that speaks highly to obviously how he viewed you as a director. Now, are you one who, do you like to micromanage as a director, or you like, because you seem like a real free spirit, so is it that way on set? You just kind of, obviously you want people to do what they're supposed to do, but you just allow a free movement for people to explore their role? I
do, actually. Like the 5 boys, 3 of which had never acted in a movie before, and the casting process was really long, and it was really, and casting process is I would say 2/3 of the battle of getting a great performance is just finding good actors. And with them, it was, I said on set a lot, make it your own. Make it your own. Let's see what you would do. And it was just really pulling out of these kids, who they were that accented the character. So yeah, I mean, we definitely improv'd in some of the script, but a lot of it was on the page. It was just moments where something wasn't working, and I'd be like, "What? Let's try something else. What would you say?" You know.
What was your shooting schedule? How long did you guys have?
We shot for 26 days in Southeast Texas during summer in Texas, which was brutal.
Yes.
It was brutal.
Yeah, which I guess it would add to some of the angst and some of the, because they look tired sometimes, which you would think in a life that they're leading that they would be very tired.
Yeah.
But it was a great film. Did you guys have a good red carpet the other night?
We had a great red carpet. Yeah, the whole experience of being in Dallas. I mean, this is a festival I've been to a couple of times now, and it definitely feels like home. It's been a really great few days here. Great.
Well, it was a great film. I tell you, I loved it, and it's good to see you. We love your short work, and so now you're in full length. I know that we're going to see a lot more. So
yes, I hope so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, and thanks for staying focused during all the banging and clanging.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, it's just festival
it's
live.
Part of the world.
Yeah, it's metal.
Cool. Thank you so much.